I had done a post, several posts actually, where I talked about how Black men may view Black women as disposable. And I want to respond to this commenter here who asked a brilliant question. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've talked about Black men who may face insecurities and may also suffer from internalized self hatred or hatred of the race of, of being Black and Black women being a part of that. And this commenter asks, is wanting approval from another man, is it homoerotic or low self-esteem? Low self-esteem, please explain. This is brilliant. And I think it comes from a number of factors. And I'd like to, explain some of the more common ones that I've seen. This isn't comprehensive, but this is just what I've seen in my credentials are that I've worked with Black men for a number of years. So the first one that I have found is that Black men who do this often do not have a father figure. Either their father was absent, or they were alcoholic, they were incarcerated, they were in and out, womanizer, all kinds of things. But either way, their father was not someone who was available to them. And so they grew up longing for male connection, male leadership, friendship, mentorship, brotherhood, all of that sort of stuff. Even if they have men in their family, there's just a lack of a strong male presence, and they reach out seeking this from other men. Number two, there can be homoerotic feelings, wanting approval from another man, and that homoeroticism can be subtle. Martin Lawrence spoke about this on his stand-up role. I think it was You So Crazy, which I think I've referenced this before. But it could be under the guise of brothers, cousins, friends and things like that, of wanting that approval from another man, just getting around men and seeing how men talk. A lot of times a man, who is not emotionally mature enough will go to another man about advice for your relationship before they come to you and talk about problems in the relationship. And that suggests a level of immaturity, but it's also done when men harbor secret romantic feelings for other men. Maybe they've slept with another man on the down low, or they covet that other man on the down low, and so it's couched under respect, admiration, and needing guidance. I trust you, bro, or we have a bromance type of thing, when really there can be some homoerotic feelings going on there, and they're just trying to find ways of getting closeness. And so they couch it very similar to how they couch it with women. Like, I have a problem, and they do a whole lot of emotional dumping. So I'm going to dump on him about my relationship, and we'll bond together through me dumping trauma and things like that on him, and him solving problems for me or giving advice to me. It can also be low self-esteem or insecurity, and as well as immaturity. And so having low self-esteem and insecurity are often, they hold hands, in my opinion. And so that's when a man doesn't know who he is. He's not confident in who he is. He's not confident in his identity. There can also be a lot of self-loathing that goes into that. And so you have men who actually hate who they are and feel like they're never good enough. And so they want approval from everybody and anybody, but they can also, in my experience with this type of man, especially when it's pathological, there are some exceptions, but especially when it's pathological, they will often hate people who give them approval, and they will drag you for it. They will drag your ass like nobody's business, and sabotage the relationship, kicking and screaming the whole way. I see this a lot more in relationships with women, but I've also seen it in men having relationships with other men too. But the homoerotic stuff is definitely a big one. And that homoerotic stuff can kind of creep up on you. And men have been, sort of come busted out of the woodworks with it, and just like, hi, here I am, and just suddenly try to kiss another man or grab another man, that kind of stuff. I've seen it happen a lot. I'm telling you from what I know. I've seen it, and when men just sort of get freaked out and they're like, whoa, so and so tried to make a move on me, and this and that. But other times, they may go for it and start a secret relationship, and brother love blossoms. So yeah, these are some very good things. I think also too, when we're talking about Black men, there is like the red pill rhetoric, which has taken the world by storm, if you will, where people are now bonding over a podcast. They're getting their advice from all of these people in the podcast. So there is this idea too that, okay, these men with this platform, they're getting all this respect, they're getting all this admiration, they're getting this popularity and this clout. I want that. So that is something that I admire in him too. But anyhow, I hope this helps. And thanks so much for asking this question and putting it out there.